So today they are releasing this patch here that they promised, and it was going to be released later today, and it's here downloading, right? It's still updating, so I'm here like, let's read the patch notes. 0.2.0f patch notes. This patch adds support for respecting ascendancy classes, Atlas bookmarks, new stash tab affinities, changes to charms and totems, as well as many other improvements and bug fixes. Respecting ascendancy classes. Redoing an ascendancy trial now allows you to respec the ascendancy class you have chosen as the essential device, but only if the trial would grant you the number of points you already have. In order to respec your ascendancy class, you must have 0 points allocated in it, but you can now talk to Bobala or the Trial Master to refund passive points. Trials of Chaos that have 7 chambers and thus grant up to 4 ascendancy passive skill points now can be attempted from level 55 down from 60. Trials of Chaos that have 10 chambers and thus grant up to 6 ascendancy passive skill points can now be attempted from level 65 down from 75. Charm changes. Belts level 30 and above now have implicit modifiers with 1 to 2 charm slots, while belts level 60 and above now have implicit modifiers with 1 to 3 charm slots. This only affects new belts found after this patch has been deployed. The explicit modifiers for additional charm slots on belts can no longer reroll. The Xerxes, Genesis, and Ingenuity unique belts no longer have additional charm slots modifiers, though existing versions of these items are not affected. Bejoborn has intentionally kept its additional charm slots for now, as in the future we will be expanding the maximum possible charm slots to 6. Massively increase the values of the prefixes that restore life, mana, or grant guard when charms are used. You can update existing items to the new values with Divine Orb. All charms but the Golden Charm have had their maximum charges halved and their charges per use halved, making them refill more quickly. The base duration of Stone Charm has also been increased from 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds. New Stash Tab Affinities. Added Stash Tab Affinities for the following categories of items: Socketables, Fragments, including tablets and trial keys, Breach, Expedition, Ritual. Atlas Bookmarks. Added the ability to bookmark locations on your Atlas to find them easily later. Right-clicking a node will allow you to create a bookmark by picking an icon, optionally adding a label you can type in. You can have up to 16 bookmarks at a time. They will appear as icons around the outside of the screen with a direction allowing you to scroll to them easily, or you can click on them to instantly take you there. You can also view a list of bookmarks under the legend and click them to go there. Endgame changes. Pinnacle bosses now have unlimited respawn attempts at difficult 0. Tower and hideout maps have a higher minimum number of rare monsters that can spawn. The final rare monster defeated in tower and hideout maps will now drop a map of the same tier you are running, as long as you have enough waystone chance. Defeating the final rare monster in tower maps is still not required to complete the tower map. Added UI tracking for rare and unique monsters in unique maps, tower maps and hideout maps. UI tracking? Cool. Crafting changes. As each new room tier is unlocked, we are removing the lower rooms from the drop pool. This is to stop you from getting spammed with lesser rooms at higher levels. Lesser rooms no longer drop past level 31. Medium rooms no longer drop past level 52. Overall, past level 52, you will now drop more greater rooms than currently, but lesser rooms and runes will no longer drop. Rogue Exiles will always have appropriate tier runes socketed into dropped items relative to their item levels. Scepters can now have sockets, and we've added a new set of talisman modifiers for scepters to allow upgrades to your minions at mid to late game. Totem changes. All totem skills now start gaining elemental resistances and chaos resistance. Scaling up with skill level from around gem level 13 at gem level 20, they have plus 75% to all elemental resistances and plus 35% to chaos resistances. Ironwood supports now also grants totem summoned by supported skills plus 10% to all maximum elemental resistance. Light stun changes. Moderately reduced the capacity for monsters to light stun you specifically towards crew in endgame by lowering the amount of stun damage they deal, and increasing the minimum they must deal to light stun you. Additionally, elemental chaos and ranged stun damage has been penalized even further, so you're less likely to get stunned by random stray projectiles and other things of the sort. These changes don't affect light stuns dealt by players. We've added a cluster to the passive skill tree near Chaos Inoculation that allows you to invest into a heavy amount of stun and elements threshold based on your enemy shield. We'll be adding more stun mitigation later around the tree, notably in the Dexterous section. Player changes. Shard Scavenger, in addition to its current effects, now also restores one cooldown used for all your grenades and grants a buff for 2 seconds that prevents your crossbow attacks consuming bolts. Shockwave Totem's base attack time is now 1.5 seconds, previously 3 seconds. Shockwave Totem's Slam now deal 96 to 211% of attack damage at gym levels 3 to 20. Previously 169 to 369, that was a nerf. While the Jagged Ground Eruption damage is unchanged, Quality now provides 0 to minus 0.2 seconds to totem base attack time. Previously it was to 55, minus 55. Frozen locals can now be used while using other skills to interrupt what you're doing. Similarly to Dodge Roll, though it does not allow you to dodge incoming hits. You will now Shield Bash if you release Raise Shield after blocking a hit from a faraway attacker. There is a different enemy in Shield Bash range. Storm Lance is now able to be supported by ground effect related supports. Raise Shield is now able to be supported by Concentrated Effect. Fire Exposure and Lightning Exposure supports have had their wording adjusted to make clear their effects apply to any target, not just enemies. This is not a functional change, just a clarification of words. Whirlwind Lance and the Whirlwind keywords hover now clarify that the Whirlwind's collapse deals melee damage. Improved the visual effects of Arc's explosions or on hitting a shocked target. Glacial Lance is now able to chain off terrain. Improvements and other changes. Added an Equipped Gems section to the gem cutting interface to make leveling up cross-class skill gems more convenient. Added rarity borders to items available to purchase from vendors. Greater Rune of Tithing now provides 1 to 100 lightning thorns damage when socketing armor, previously 1 to 10. Attribute runes now have a more appropriate gold value to vendors and can be reforged into their high tier. Okay. Breach hands can now drop splinters at all levels. The amount starts slowing and increases with area level, similar to splinter drops from monsters. Shrines are now easier to click on. What? Monster changes. Some endgame monsters can no longer interrupt their attacks if you move. Some endgame can only interrupt their attacks if you move too far out of range during the attacks to relentlessly chase you. Zarok the Temporal no longer aggressively targets player minions if any are present. The Emired Fury is now less likely to target minions, and their ground effects should now more reliably be removed after death. Azak Brutes, Azak Maulers, Azak Stalkers, and Undead Valguards have had the frequency they use their skills such as ground slams reduced and the cooldowns increased. Adjusted the behavior of the under 80 degree cleave skill used by Geonor, the Putrid Wolf, to prevent them using the skill multiple times sequentially. The composition of monster packs in Jikani's Sanctum, Agorat, and Utsao have been adjusted to reduce the amount of ranged skills being hurled at players in these areas. The same adjustment has been made for the versions of affected packs that can appear in map areas. Adjusted the frequency and damage of the Ice Shard Spiral Volley from shrines. Adjusted the behavior of Venomous Crabs, Venomous Crab Matriarchs, and Constricted Spitters. Valve Form Shifter now has less damage reduction when in shape-shifted form. The Fettered Spider Cleansed monster now explodes on death less often. Adjusted the damage dealt by Goliath in Val Goliath monsters. Adjusted the damage of Stone Sentinel's Slam skill. Reduced the damage of the Essence of the Infinite monster modifier. Lowered the damage of Val Enforcer to be more appropriate for how many times it hits. Lowered the damage of Reconstructor's Lightning Burst skill. Slightly reduced the damage of Ravenous Mishappen's Arc skill. Yeah, I'm very happy with the changes. I want the game to be bad, to be back to be good, man. What's going on? The game just updated. Alright, the game just finished updated, launched alone. So yeah, man. I see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe. This helps the algorithm a lot for the channel. I see you in the next one. Bye.